It's one of the most important days of your life. Increasingly, it can be one of the most expensive, too. In Canada, tying the knot now costs an average of $27,000. From the venue to the dress, the final bill can sink newly married couples deep into debt. Alison McGill is editor-in-chief of Wedding Bells magazine. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've always spent a lot on this event. That's true. But the cost has actually gone up in kind of an alarming way, 20% since 2008. So what's going on? Why are weddings getting so much more expensive?
Well, a couple of reasons. I mean, couples are really going the distance to make that day extra, extra special, extra, extra unique. And it's interesting because we did not see a shift in the wedding market happen when, the bad times, the recession came on. You talk about 2008, they've only gone up. So people are spending more and they're not willing to sacrifice on their vision for their day. So that is, I would say, probably the most important thing that we're seeing that's driving the cost up of why this average cost is coming in at $27,000. But also, it's inflation. Things are getting more expensive and, that only makes sense. But it's really interesting from my perspective because, again, this is an average number we're dealing with. We see lots of weddings that are $10,000. We see $100,000 plus weddings.
Now, I mean, I have a big concern with this because it is, in real business, we look at this and we say that wedding business is sort of like this recession-proof business because you're taking advantage of a lot of the societal kind of pressures.
Right.
I mean, why wouldn't we be looking at changing the way people have pressure on them to have this great big wedding and spending all this money, as opposed to just keep pushing them on having and spending all the money and getting more and more money?
Right. Well, I think the pressure that couples feel, that actually comes from themselves, and they feel like they have to have this event that's unique, and they have to go the distance, and they have to spend all this money to get it. Well, we're here to talk about ways like they don't have to spend all that money to get it, and certainly at Wedding Bells, putting yourself in debt is not something we advocate for your wedding. You have a life to live after that, and that's what a lot of people lose focus on. The wedding is a day, it's a great day, it's a party you're planning for a year to 18 months, but you got the rest of your life afterwards, and you don't want to start your lives together with a huge amount of debt.
Is there some prices, though, that just become inflated because the word wedding is attached? I mean, we just showed the average price of a cake north of $500. I mean, I'm going to start baking cakes for a living. I don't know what that's about, except that they know it's a wedding cake.
Right. Could be. It depends. You really have to do your research on vendors. I mean, that's where you have to be savvy. You have to, if you want to be savvy about where you spend your dollars with a wedding, you have to take the time, invest the time to find people that are working within your budget, that aren't going to put you over, and that aren't going to take advantage of the fact that, you are planning this day and you are all wrapped up in the romantic notion of what that day is going to look like. So
you talked a little bit about financial planning and thinking through this. Do you talk a lot about, looking at budgeting and looking at how to best save on a wedding? What are some of the biggest tips that you push young couples to think about when they're planning to kind of save dollars across the board?
Well, one of the things that actually we don't directly address with readers, but it's really interesting, has become a trend in the last several years, is the DIY thing. So many couples are doing it-yourself elements for the wedding day. Again, saves money, adds personalization, but it's really interesting because this has gone, again, to a micro-hyper level. People are making everything. They're doing their own bouquets, their centerpieces, their stationery, and again, it's money saving, but it adds that personal touch as well.
Not a lot of time, but do some of the old traditions like mom and dad still pay, or one of the groom's family does the rehearsal dinner and the bride pays for this, that, and the other? Does that all that still apply?
No, it's gone a bit out the window. Again, we do a reader survey at Wedding Bells every year. Average age is going up. Couples live together. They have their own money. A lot of people are paying for it themselves.
Alison, great to have you here.
Thank you.